Welcome to Manufacturing Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody. Back again at the Motion and Power Show, formerly the Gear Expo, presented by American Gear Manufacturing Association, otherwise known as AGMA. We're here in Detroit, the Motown of the Midwest. Even though there aren't a whole lot of cars on the road, I noticed these last 2 days. Must have something to do with a work stoppage. Anyway, I have Mary Ellen Doran, who is the Director of Emergent Technology for AGMA. Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Tell us all about you.
I've worked for AGMA for 13 years. About 6 years ago, in conjunction with AGMA's 100th anniversary, we really wanted to look forward and do something that would help the members in the emerging technology space. So we began pursuing technology committees in 4 areas: 3D printing, IIoT, and now AI, electric vehicle technology, and robots and automation. So we invited our members and we invited experts from outside our membership to come and have discussions that are gear-centric in those 4 areas.
To teach and expand upon and
Correct.
so on.
Yeah. What is disruptive? In these new technologies that are emerging, what is disruptive for gear specific? Mm-hmm. And what may offer some new avenues for revenues for gear manufacturers in the future?
So this started 16 years ago. 6 years ago.
Yep.
Sorry. And in the 6 years, so you've learned a lot.
I've learned a lot.
Yeah. We at Manufacturing Talk Radio also learned a lot. We've been doing Manufacturing Talk Radio now for 10 years. And when we first started it, there was a lot that we didn't know. Mm-hmm. There was a ton of stuff that manufacturers didn't know.
Yes.
And you also never heard about manufacturing in the daily news or CNN or MSNBC or Fox. Nobody talked about manufacturing. So we started doing it. And in doing that, we also doing research for our shows, which we've now done the ACE 100 show last week.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a big number.
Yeah, it is.
1,600 is the next one, but that's a ways to go. So we've learned a lot. We also learned a lot that the manufacturers, they know how to do things, they know how to make things, but they don't know or didn't know about technology. And to your point, emergent technologies. So you guys jumped on it at around the same time that we did. And tell us about the membership and how they felt about the new technology. I mean, they weren't like the horseshoe forger who then was putting in the floorboards for Model T Fords.
Right, absolutely.
How did they do it? How did they manage?
We have a wide variety of members. A lot of our small and medium-sized manufacturers had already started the process of looking into IoT. Some of our larger manufacturers already applied some of the IoT solutions in their day-to-day activities. What we're working on doing and what we've done consistently for the last 6 years is make sure to bring what's new and different in front of them. So we're bringing IoT solution providers to our members. Several of them have been able to utilize some of these in their processes and on their shop floor to get more data, and data is king. Their 3D printing of metal has risen quite a bit in the last 5 years. And so we're looking at, will it be disruptive to the gear industry? Will there be a crossover where we start to mass produce gears using 3D printing? But also, what about 3D printing can be helpful to gear manufacturers? Tooling, castings, there are a lot of variety in that space. So our guys are pretty savvy. They make gears, so they're already used to a really difficult component to make. Right. So stepping into the technology may be a little bit easier for them.
You didn't find, or have you found that there was pushback at the beginning. What do I need this for? My business has been running for 50 years and it's fine.
There was a little of that for sure. The emerging technology information is a push out as opposed to, and it's free. So it's a little easier for them
Right.
to slowly walk,
Yeah.
slow walk some of this technology.
Free always works.
But we've had a lot of members who have taken advantage of it,
Yeah.
which is nice to see.
Taking advantage by doing it, not taking advantage of abusing.
Absolutely. No. Our robotics committee, for example, looks at robots from two different perspectives. We're looking at robots used to only be in automotive.
Right.
It's only been in the last few years that they're exploding into everything else.
Right.
There's an opportunity, and there's also the ability for our manufacturers to be able to put robots in on their shop floors and help with some of the problems that they're having with pushing gears out of their shop. So you can automate on your factory floor using robots. But robots also have gears.
Yes.
AGVs and other new and improved robotics applications are being
Right.
brought into shops, and a lot of the supply chain is building up. So there's also an opportunity there, and we've brought in a lot of speakers to talk about that as well.
One of the things that we have run across about the robotics is that here companies are having trouble with hiring skilled labor.
Correct.
Skilled labor is leaving, they're dying, they're giving up, they've had enough. But now with robots where you can work have them working in a factory 24/7, you're picking up a lot of labor force and paying for it, but maybe not as much as you are if you were paying for an employee to work a night shift. So there is a financial benefit that they can do all this production and not with people.
Absolutely. And the piece that is so important to realize is robots have gotten cheaper over time. We've learned how to utilize our technology and advance the technology to a point where you don't have to have a person programming every single robot.
Right.
There are some new solutions that make it easier for the smaller manufacturers to perhaps put an arm in or try something new, or have an AGV that's loading and bringing things to and from
Right.
a spot on their floor.
Right. Yeah, I've been to many a shop where that's going on. You see them going back and forth,
Yes.
back and forth, and delivering the raw material to a particular spot, and production begins without having to use a human.
Right. But
And-
humans are still good for the hard stuff. You never want a robot to tie your shoe.
Well, there's another thing. You're right. I've read a couple of books over the last couple of years about AI, and there is a scary part to AI, in my opinion, and that is that once AI knows how to make a decision or make a judgment, we might be in trouble with that.
There's been a lot of people in the profession who are way smarter than me who have called that out.
Yes, it's like Hal in Space Odyssey. He, the robot Hal, was making decisions, and not good ones, not for the humans. Actually, there was a lawsuit over the name Hal. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but Hal spelt one letter off spells IBM.
Oh.
HIBM.
That's really interesting. Okay.
Yeah. It's I learned that a million years ago. Most people never heard of it.
No, I have not. So thank you for that. That's an
Yeah.
interesting tidbit to
Just
share.
remember where you got it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, what's happening next with emergent technology?
So our emerging technology, well, what's happening very next is we have an EV town hall tomorrow morning.
Yes, I've heard.
So we have 481 people signed up to attend the EV town hall, which I'm very excited about.
That's great.
It is our first discussion taking an emerging tech across the line to the technical department where we have standards development. And we're going to talk about what AGMA as an organization should or needs to do for industry on the standards piece for electric vehicle technology. I'm looking forward to that conversation. It is our first dipping our toe in the water and starting to get industry's opinion on where we need to schedule the standards. So,
well, unfortunately, I won't be there, but I really only heard about that this morning, and there was a thought about changing my flight, but life goes on.
Well, we're happy to share with you some of the outcomes from that.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Matter of fact, I would take it even one step further, that perhaps we'll do another show and have you on, and we could be talking about the town hall.
Terrific.
That'd be great.
Terrific. I'm happy to help.
Yeah, that'd be great. And we're doing what you're doing. We originally started Manufacturing Talk Radio as a means to drive manufacturing traffic to All Metals and Forge Group, the Forger. After about 3 or 4 months after listening to people talk to us about what we're doing, we then realized that we're an educational format.
Right.
And we are bringing stuff to people who don't have the time, the energy, wasn't aware that they're beginning to hear new stuff. When we started this 10 years ago, you never heard about news for manufacturing on the news. Now there's over 1,000 manufacturing podcasts. We're the biggest. I think like I said, we did 800 shows as of last week. And we get great numbers, great people listening to us, great comments and questions coming in. So there are people that are really beginning to utilize the tool.
That's terrific.
Of podcasting for information and education.
Yeah.
So I'd like to have you back.
Oh, I'd love to be back. And I'd love to put in my own personal plug. We do an emerging technology webinar the first Wednesday of every month at 1 o'clock Eastern. Then we put the taped version on our website. So anyone out there can go to agma.org and see 2 years worth of emerging technology webinars today.
Well, that's great. And I'm not writing any notes right now, so maybe we'll talk about this also, because maybe we'd like to have it plugged into our website, because we have 10, 15,000 people listen to our shows.
Absolutely.
So that'd be terrific.
Great.
So, I started to ask you the question about what's the next technology, and we talked about the 4 or 5 that came on board 5-6 years ago to today. What's coming?
So AI is probably the newest one that we're taking a look at. But for me, one of the pieces of AI that's important is the energy that is required to do some of the AI computations. So if you're doing digital twin of your factory, there's an output in electrical energy to be able to have the computer be able to generate the digital twin. And that's something that everyone needs to take into consideration when they're looking at AI applications. They are very, very powerful applications, but they require energy.
Wow. So you're talking about energy, meaning electric energy.
Yep.
So that's the only safeguard against AI, is that if they're making decisions, just pull the plug. And that's the end of decision making.
I don't know enough about it to agree with you.
The plug still generates the electricity. So, Mary Ellen, thank you very much for sitting down with us for a few minutes. I do want to talk to you again about doing some stuff together.
It was a pleasure.
With AGMA and your group and my group. And we run a show every week. Yep. We actually have 5 different podcasts a month.
Great.
Different aspects of manufacturing, and I'd like to talk to you further about that.
I welcome that, and we're so excited that you're here at Motion Power Technology Expo. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay.
That's our show for today. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to support the show, please like and subscribe, share on social media, or leave a review. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Rumble, or your favorite podcast app. Visit us online at mfgtalkradio.com for our other episodes. We have also included links to our advertisers below. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.